Welcome to the Field of 68 After Dark's YouTube channel. We are going to be live every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube and on Stadium for the entirety of the spring. Kadary Richmond, a guy that many think is one of the top three, if not the number one player that entered the transfer portal this year, is going to be staying in the Big East. The team that lured him out of Seton Hall has landed his commitment at St. John's. Rick Pitino has got the man that he was looking for. You combine Kadary Richmond's commitment with David Smith, who committed over the weekend, and all of a sudden, the Johnnies have a very, very intriguing backcourt. Jeff Goodman, what do you make of Richmond's commitment to St. John's? What does this mean for Rick Pitino's team, and how good could that backcourt be between him and Smith? You might have two guys that can get a triple-double every single night in that backcourt.
So I think now St. John's becomes a team that's somewhere in the 10 to 25 range with Kadary Richmond and Davon Smith. And they're not overpowering up front. Certainly they missed on a couple of their big men targets, Norchad O'Meara being the main one. You know, they
two
thought
guys we talked about at the top of the show were both heavily linked with St. John's when they decided to enter the portal.
So now they're going to be more guard heavy, which is kind of what you want to be. But they've got enough in the backcourt. RJ Luis is going to take a jump. He was hurt last year. He's talented. We know that. The big question mark is Zuby and Vince up front. Are they good enough as a tandem to give you, I don't know, Rob, can they give you 15 and 8 up front between the two of them, 40 minutes? I don't know, but I like, listen, the talent level of this team went up significantly from a year ago. And again, I don't think they're a top 10 preseason team, but I think they're that next tier. And if you're a St. John's fan, and I know, listen, we put a high expectation on them in year one, probably unjust for Rick Pitino and the Johnnies. But in year two, if they can be a team that's in the top 25 most of the year and win a game in the tournament, maybe win two and get to the second weekend, that's momentum. That's a hell of a season. That's relevance for St. John's this year.
Yeah, I think that the combination, well, first of all, I think that Kadary Richmond is the absolutely perfect kind of guard that you can put in a Rick Pitino system because of his length, because of his versatility. You could use him as one of the two at the top of the 2-2-1 press that they run. You could use him as a wing if you want to play him next to RJ Luis, the 3 and the 4, and play a couple of smaller guards, and you can do that. I think that the versatility that you get out of David Smith and Kadary Richmond is something that you're not going to be able to find elsewhere. I think RJ Luis is a guy that's going to end up being a star this year. You look at Rick Pitino's best teams, and there's always like a big athletic wing on there that can be versatile, that can be switchable. I really like how this roster has come together at the 1 through 4 spots. You hit the nail on the head when it comes to the 5. Like Vince Chukwu is a guy that was at one time a 5-star prospect before he had the heart issue at USC. Hasn't quite reached back to that level. We'll see if it happens again. Zuby is the transfer from Kansas. He's not exactly the size of somebody like a Joel Soriano. You know, I think he's like 6'8". So that's a little bit of a concern. But I mean, Simeon Wilcher and Brady Dunlap are two guys that can find what places and find roles on the wing for Rick Pitino in the system. The biggest thing the biggest question that I'm going to have, specifically with Kadary, is there was always a motivational aspect of it that we heard early on in the Seton Hall tenure. Some of the issues that he had at Syracuse, like if you're not willing to get out there and put in the effort for Rick Pitino, like it's not going to work. You know, and I think he got much better by the end of his tenure at Seton Hall. I think that you can hear the way that Shaheen spoke about him to know that was the way that he was viewed. But that's going to be the biggest thing, because the way that Pitino, like what he does defensively, you're going to have to put in not just work on the practice floor, but you're going to have to put in work in the film room. You're going to have to learn about the way that they run their defense. Like what they do is just so different than what anybody else does that it's it can sometimes confuse the guys on the own roster.
I've been told by several people, Kadary Richmond does not exactly love practice. And what is Rick Pitino like more than anything else, Rob?
practice.
So this thing is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I do think if I'm St. John's and Rick Pitino, I got to get a stretch four. I got to get a four who can shoot it, because to me, I just don't know if there are enough. Again, Brady Dunlap when he comes on the court, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to play. Davon Smith can make shots. Kadary's not a great shooter. RJ Lewis isn't a proven shooter yet. The 2-5 men, I don't know. So I think you have to have a four-man who can stretch it right now. And I think it's going to be a pivotal addition, whoever that they get through the portal for that four-man spot for St. John's.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they kind of fill in that gap with. But I'm in it, man. I like that addition, and I think that if you're looking at it, if you're looking at it through Red Storm tinted glasses, that is a very good addition for the Giants, and something where, like, after missing on two of their biggest targets, they had to get done. Thanks for watching the Field of 68 After Dark. Make sure to hit that like button.